This is the Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.
Well, welcome back to the latest episode of the Future of Automotive on CBE News, where we put recent automotive and mobility news into the context of the broader themes that are impacting the industry. My name's Steve Greenfield, I'm from Automotive Ventures, and I'm glad that you could join us this week. The global transition to electric vehicles, once framed as inevitable, is starting to look a lot more complicated. As with many major economic shifts, it didn't happen all at once. It moved slowly at first, and now, suddenly, the cracks are harder to ignore. This week alone brought a cascade of signals suggesting that the electrical vehicle era is entering a far more uncertain and contested phase. In Europe, the European Commission backed away from what had been the world's most aggressive timeline for phasing out internal combustion engines. Automakers and consumers are being given more time to move off gasoline. Just a day earlier, Ford announced nearly $20 billion in charges tied directly to retreating from an electric strategy it once pledged to pursue all in. And this pullback isn't limited to a handful of skeptics. From legacy automakers to the companies that helped ignite the EV boom, the reckoning has been building for months. Consider Tesla, the company that arguably did more than any other to kickstart the electric vehicle revolution. Elon Musk's company was never going to sustain the meteoric rise it saw early in the decade, but this is more than a slowdown for Tesla. Global vehicle deliveries are now expected to fall for the second year in a row, and Musk's attention has shifted away from the long-promised affordable electric car towards projects like humanoid robotics and autonomous taxis. In China, BYD is on track to become the world's top seller of battery electric vehicles in 2025. But even there, momentum is faltering. Sales have declined for 3 straight months. The company still produces one plug-in hybrid for every one fully electric vehicle, and Chinese regulators are increasingly scrutinizing aggressive pricing in that local market. Meanwhile, traditional automakers trying to catch up are really struggling. General Motors has taken $1.6 billion in charges to scale back their EV production capacity and has warned more could be coming soon. Stellantis has scrapped plans for a fully electric Ram pickup truck, reviving large V8 engines, vehicles that continue to sell very well in the US market where fuel economy standards have been weakened. And in Germany, Volkswagen, once one of Tesla's most determined rivals, is ending production of its electric ID.3 hatchback this month. This will mark the first time in 88 years that Volkswagen has shut down production at one of their German assembly plants. The company has already absorbed billions in losses, including a 4.7 billion euros tied to Porsche reversing parts of its EV strategy. And yet, despite all of this, the transition is not being abandoned entirely. EVs remain our North Star. GM CEO Mary Barra recently told investors, arguing that battery-powered vehicles are fundamentally better than internal combustion engines. From Volvo, which had lobbied aggressively for Europe's 2035 ban on gas-powered cars, Volvo says electric vehicles remain one of the fastest growing segments of the industry. But the reality policymakers are now confronting is simple. EV sales are not growing nearly fast enough to meet the targets set for the next decade. The European Commission's new plan still requires 90% reduction in tailpipe emissions by 2035, down from the original goal of 100%. Automakers will also have to offset pollution by using renewable fuels or low carbon materials like green steel. For manufacturers, that means more flexibility, but also more complexity. Multiple powertrains, multiple technologies, and billions more in investment spread across all of these. At Ford, the cost of that recalibration is very steep. The company's charges are tied to canceling an electric F-150 series pickup, shifting production back towards gas and hybrid vehicles, and repurposing battery plants to produce energy storage systems instead of cars. Ford CEO Jim Farley recently summed it up this way: "We need to give consumers choice, and then use our manufacturing flexibility to go where the consumers are." That may be the clearest signal yet of where the industry stands currently. The electric future isn't disappearing, but it's no longer arriving on the timeline that many once had promised. So with that, let's transition to our companies to watch. Every week, we highlight an interesting company in the automotive technology space to keep an eye on. If you read my weekly Intel report, we showcase a company to watch and then take the opportunity here on this segment each week to share that company with you. Today, our new company to watch is called Epic. The manual process of collecting loan payoff information, releasing liens, and obtaining titles is time-consuming and can come with costly errors and delays. With Epic, dealers gain access to more information, enhanced reliability, and overall faster lien and title releases. Use Epic to enhance your loan payoffs and title transfers, and streamline loan payoff to lien release with Epic. If you'd like to learn more about Epic, you can check them out at www.withepic.com. So that's it for this week's Future of Automotive segment. If you're an entrepreneur out there looking to solve a big problem anywhere across the mobility spectrum, we want to hear from you. We are actively investing out of our new mobility fund. Don't forget to check out my first book, The Future of Automotive Retail, and my newest book, The Future of Mobility, both of which are available on Amazon. Thanks as always for your ongoing support and for tuning into CBT News for this week's Future of Automotive segment, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks for watching The Future of Automotive with Steve Greenfield.